strong.
Say it again. I'm strong.
I am strong.
All right. I don't want to hear any of that crying.
The victim, later identified as Daryl Hines, was shot near Colony Park and collapsed outside the grocery store Pay for Less. Police Chief Ted...
Film really struck a real chord in me about a man who's going through a lot of pain and how he's moving to become happy after some really traumatic moments in both his childhood and then recently with the loss of his brother. It's a beautiful film. There was so much stillness, gorgeous music. The performance of the lead was incredible. I love the therapist too. She was so elegant and stately. It's a beautiful, beautiful, timely film about pain and redemption and joy resulting from getting past the traumas that we deal with. A beautiful film. The cinematography was lovely. The flashbacks when he was a young boy, very, very moving. Excellent film. Love this one.
Wow, this one was powerful. I really like the relationship between our main character and his therapist, how she's patient with him, but yet she pushes him to want to make a positive change in his life and move past his pain. I thought that both the story and the script were powerful, and everything that happened in that room was essential to the character's growth. The flashbacks were really emotional. I really like the metaphor of using an iceberg to describe mental health. This film did tackle some heavy subject matter, but I think that it did so delicately and with its own sort of grace. Everything was designed to really put you in the office with them, put you in the character's shoes.
This one is really good. It's just gripping, compelling storytelling in a premise that, even though it's been done a number of times, being in a therapy session, it manages to keep things interesting with really well-paced intercutting and just some really good acting. There's some great performances here. It's all just really strong, comes together really well.
I appreciated the main theme, which to me was the sort of futility of one-on-one psychology. Psychology being a very personal and personalized experience. It's very hard to elicit and invoke characteristic expression when dealing with a stranger. Therefore, I very much appreciated the protagonist's sentiment, and in many ways it reminded me of Manchester by the Sea, in that we were dealing with a main character who feels like he doesn't have time to be vulnerable. And unlike the tragedy in that story, this is a character who realizes that and hopes to elicit change before it becomes too late.
Emotional, all-encompassing look at mental health, especially in the Black community, which historically and culturally is something that isn't discussed often enough. I mean, when you look at it in a more broader scale, the mental health of men is quite overlooked in society oftentimes. It's even more so in the Black community. So it's such an important subject matter to tackle, and it has been for so much time and continues to be. So it's fantastic that the filmmaker has the foresight and the intelligence and the artistic prowess to tackle this subject matter in the way that they do, with the sensitivity that they do.
It was a nice story with a very poignant message. Well acted. I really appreciate the character choices that the actor made and really allowing his vulnerability to come through in just such a subtle, natural tone. Thought it was well written. All the bases were covered. Overall, it was a great achievement in all the back end of the camera, the lighting, the sound, and just felt it was a nice, solid story, and it really brought in the audience.
I found that the lack of music at the beginning and the single actor really create that sense of loneliness that he's talking about at one point, and I found myself curious to see where it would go. And then the music when the therapist or counselor starts talking, and the contrast with the gunshots, it like audio-wise had me very engaged. What was happening, I thought was super effective. And also just a great way to explore a lot of the issues that the characters discussed.
Beautiful. I really loved it. I loved the way that it was shot. I don't know if it was shot on film or if it was just kind of a like a black pro mist filter, or or something like that, or if it's just like the color grading. But I thought it was just beautiful, and because it's a very intimate and like emotional story, I thought the performances were super strong. The protagonist carries the narrative very well. All the performances in this are like this should be expanded into like a feature film. I thought it was great.
Very emotional and moving story. I love the performance and the script. It has very wise and relatable words. It is truly emotional, like I said, and I thought the performances were just superb, and it was very well accomplished. I really enjoyed it.